Yerp. What's happening? It's Chris Hall here. You are now tuned into the Chris Hall Show. Wait for it. I need everybody within the sound of my voice to follow me on Instagram at ChrisHallATL. Click the link in the bio. That'll take you to my YouTube page. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're always notified when I drop some new content. What's going on, y'all? Oh man. We're here. We are back live Wednesdays at 9 p.m. We always have some interesting topics so we can chop it up. The comment section is open. The question asking section is open. Everything is open. We 24 hours in here, man. You know what I'm saying? You see the title of the show. Should we cancel Kevin Samuels? Yes. For all of y'all who don't know who he is, today we will be breaking it down. We will be talking about it. I like the show topic today. I talked to a lot of people about Kevin Samuels. We have a lot of debates, a lot of arguments. A lot of people get a little butthurt when you name them. Some people even get triggered. Oh yes, they get a little triggered. I've even encountered a young lady who said she don't even talk to men who listen to Kevin Samuels. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Anywho, let's talk about it. So, Kevin Samuels, let's start from the top. Let's go through a little bio of Kevin Samuels, what I found, right? So, Kevin Samuels is from what he says, I sworn he said he was 52. For some reason, the internet says he's 49. I don't know. Somewhere around 49 to 52, take your pick. And I actually prepared for this show. Usually my shows are freestyle, but I got notes, I got quotes, and I got jokes. Born in Oklahoma, graduated from the University of Oklahoma in 1987 with a chemical engineering degree. Sounds like a pretty smart guy, right? Yeah, I don't know nobody with a chemical engineering degree. Do you? This ain't juice. He worked in sales and marketing, got into fashion consulting and style on his YouTube channel that he started at about 2015. About 2020, during the pandemic, he started talking to women, focusing on marriage and better outcomes for everybody, men and women alike, but for Black women specifically. Then, unless you've been living under a rock, about a week ago, I think, or a few days ago, I can't remember when I see it. I see stuff online, save it, and then start talking about it as the days go by online. They started a petition. Someone, I don't know who exactly, we're about to see in a second, started a petition to cancel Kevin Samuels. Can you believe that? Let's find out why. The petition is on change.org if you guys and gals want to take a look at it. I'm going to read it for you word for word because I got time today. So, it says remove Kevin Samuels from YouTube and Instagram. Now, I will say this. When I first looked at this, when it first started gaining traction, it had about 1,000 to 2,000 petitions signed. So I was like, this ain't really gonna get no traction, right? This petition has 17,782 petitions signed out of 20, trying to get to a 25,000 petition mark, sign mark. They on their way. I said, well, goddamn. That's a lot, isn't it? Seemingly the person who started this was the Goldie Jones channel. started this petition to YouTube and looks like 4 other people. Don't know who exactly. Anywho, let's find out why they want to cancel your boy. With the rise of violence against women, specifically African American women, YouTuber Kevin Samuels has galvanized a community of men of all races and nationality in the outspoken hatred towards women. Oh, looky. Removing his voice of divisive vitriol. You got to say it like that so it sounds like doom and gloom, right? Removing this voice of divisive vitriol will allow women to feel safer, not only in public spaces, but in online communities as well. Freedom of speech is the constitutional right for each of us. However, when that speech is loaded with thoughts and threats of violence towards women, manipulation of young and even fantasies to death to women, I don't know who said that, but that freedom of speech becomes a prison for all those thoughts and desires are intended to isolate. I gotta take a drink to that. That sounds horrible. Acts of violence, sexual predatory behavior. Look at all these trigger words. Good Lord. And even death has been documented as streaming from rhetoric, Mr. Samuels. I ain't never heard none of that. And his community of followers has spewed in the last 12 months alone. Women feel unsafe in the presence of men who identify with this ideology and have even been berated while going about their daily lives. Jesus, this sounds deplorable. Yes, even while at work. So it's going down in the workplace, y'all. Can y'all believe this? Are y'all okay? Because this sounds bad. Blink twice if you need help, because this sounds horrible. I'm here to help. With criticism that has been spoken directly from Mr. Samuel's mouth, the very words that were spoken on social media platforms have permitted even facet of daily life for unsuspecting women. There's a lot of big words in this joint. Removing this leader of hatred against women will bring reprieve for all of us. That was the biggest crop of shit I've ever seen. They should put a big fitted cap right over this whole petition. And to believe that over 17,000 people signed this petition, I'm assuming 17,000. Is this how y'all feel? Comment in the comment section below. I would like to know. Ladies, do y'all feel unsafe in the workplace, on the streets, online? Are you in danger? You can't call the police, right? We don't like those neither, right? Fuck you gonna call then? Who knows? But getting rid of Kevin Samuel will cure all evils. It'll cure all evils. As soon as Kevin Samuels is gone, you, my friend, shall be free. Unchain yourself. Your name ain't Kunta. It's Toby today. You hear me? It is Toby today. Because y'all are clearly enslaved, scared. I mean, good grief. Good grief. I haven't seen any of this on the news, but maybe y'all silently scared. Blink twice, y'all. Blink twice. Whew, that sounded horrible, didn't it? That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. So let's back up. Let's talk about how me personally, found Kevin Samuels. I wrote this shit down, y'all. Y'all should see me. I'm prepared. This is professional. So I started following the Style OG. For all y'all that don't know him, he talks about male fashion and style and fragrance. So during the pandemic, I was, just trying to look at different things. There was nothing else to do. So I said, hey, might as well upgrade my image and my style for when the country does open back up, we will be dressed to impress and smelling fresh. Anywho, as the algorithm does, and Big Brother is watching, it lured me to one of Kevin Samuels' videos about style and fashion as well. I immediately started to binge watch until it led me to one of his newer videos. At this time, he's talking about the high value man and its components. After his monologues, I would watch his one-on-ones with women. Now, backstory about me as well. I've always wanted to start a show like this that I'm on right now, because I always thought it was my dating experience was very interesting, and the world would love to hear about my experiences with women while dating. Been dating women for quite some time, and to see the failed relationships that I had from my own eyes and show it to y'all. To see, is it just me? I thought it was just me all this time. Then I start listening to him, and in awe, I'm like, oh shit. There's other people really like this, and he's literally speaking to them. So I thought it would be cool to start the same type of show with the misconceptions between men and women. And when I see a show and see the women exuding these same type of delusional mindsets from the women of my failed relationships, I couldn't believe that a man was on the internet looking, speaking, and unapologetically acting like a man, not bowing down to any of these weird new social norms to where the male is the beta man getting whooped by his woman. And you almost can't say anything because everything triggers some of these women who are on the internet spewing some of this stuff. You just heard what I just read. That was crazy. I was hooked at this point. And I started binge watching. Watching his content made me realize I was doing the wrong thing while dating. I started realizing I wasn't looking for marriage, and some of the women I were dating were not even wives. Once I found my purpose in dating and what I needed, everything became a lot easier. When you date with a purpose or an end goal, you will never be disappointed. What I hear sometimes, and I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a little bit, what I hear a lot when I'm either on the dating apps or if I'm just meeting a woman in person, and I started actually getting on the phone and talking to these women, and one of my first questions I would ask them is, what is your intentions? And I would always hear throughout these social circles that men don't know what they want and this, that, and the third. But when I flipped the tables around and I started asking them what they wanted, they were almost beatboxing. Really beatboxing, not having a clear and concise statement to what they wanted. It's almost like they would list different things that they wanted so they would not fall out of any category that a man was looking for. Example, they would say, well, I'm looking for something serious, not rushing into anything. Marriage is the end goal with the right man. Look at all of that. Look at all that up and down, round and round. That's crazy, right? Instead of just having a concise statement by saying, I am ready for marriage, are you? Straight like that. And I talked to some women about that, and they've said that nowadays women are scared to scare men away by just saying that they want to get married. So instead, you end up talking to these men who don't really want to get married, and you think that, I don't know, with your charisma, your personality, I don't know, that whop, that for some reason, you're going to cause him to put just now, all of a sudden, just click yourself, you know what? I want to marry this girl now, who's never looking for marriage in the first place. And that's what I started running into. And it's opened my eyes to realize my worth, and you'll see other men realizing their worth as well. How is this a negative thing, y'all? How is that? Explain to me. I see all these memes, all these sayings, all these inspirational, optimistic quotes that women post about knowing your worth. Don't settle for less. Don't do this. Don't do that. But unfortunately, I've never really seen quotes that tell you what to do and how to better yourself so you can be prepared for either that high value man or even that average man that has good values and wants to get married. It came to the point where I was meeting women that even if I was ready to get married, I would not marry you because you were not a wife. You wanted to keep your independence. And for some women out here, getting married equates losing your independence. So you don't want to do that. You can't post them quotes no more. If you've noticed, most married women aren't online posting inspirational quotes. They've already found their man. That's what inspires them. Being a wife and being in a relationship with someone of value who they feel like is of value. Starting a family. What do they need inspirational quotes for? Usually it's the single women giving themselves overly exuding optimism instead of focusing on what really matters and what a man is looking for. What women seem to forget is that men are the buyers, the women is the product. Don't get triggered, please. Remember, I always say, make sure before y'all come on my live, before y'all click on YouTube's and my Instagram, make sure you take your medication. The doctor is prescribing you 1,000 milligrams of if it don't apply, let it fly. If it does, then you need to listen. And ladies, start to listen with understanding instead of listening to respond. There's been times, even on my own Instagram, where I posed this question about Kevin Samuels. I asked a clear and concise question because women seem to say, I don't like his tone. I don't like his tone. I don't like his tone. For some reason, I've never seen women go on other women's page who are talking ratchet, cursing, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, Black and Miles, crazy color hair, you name it, out of shape, this, that, and the third. You never go on their live streams or say anything about their tone and their bravado towards whoever. You just let it fly. I've had conversations with women, with female friends of mine, to where they're scared to approach those type of women. Crazy, right? They're scared to approach those type of women, but that same woman is not scared to say something negative towards a man. Now, how is that? You would assume that a woman and woman should be able to clash with each other, should be able to knuckle up, right? And with a man, there should be no reason for you to be aggressive because you can't throw them hands with no man. But you are saved from that line of violence that men usually don't cross. But when it comes to another man, that's when we can cross that line of violence. So you are safe when it comes to a man. So most of y'all feel like it is acceptable to do that type of stuff. Pass around the collection plate. Why do women want him canceled? In my humble opinion, I think women have never heard this before, to be quite honest. When you watch his show as a man, he speaks our language so we can understand it. Like I said, when I first seen it, I was like, oh shit. He is talking to women just how I would like to talk to women. But for some reason, we as men know that's not receptive. Women say all the time to tell me the truth. But ladies, I'm going to be honest. Don't get triggered. Hold on. You really can't handle the truth. Example. I was talking to this young lady. Story time. I was talking to this young lady not for that long. I'm going to say for 2 days, right? Physically, I was attracted to her, but her personality was, I was a little bit on the fence about it. She came out her mouth and asked me, hey, Chris, tell me, why do you like me? Mind you, at this time, I really didn't. I really did not. So I thought, you know what? Women say they can handle the truth. Let me go ahead and tell her. I said, well, to be honest, I don't know if I really like you as of yet. It's quite early. I would hope that I would grow to like you, but at this current time, there are some things about you that I don't like. Now, what you have to understand is that is the truth. And it does not matter my tone. I could have said, I don't like you, or I don't like you. It don't matter. The tone doesn't matter, which, like I was saying before in my Instagram post, I said, if I transcribed Kevin Samuel's show to where you had to just read it and put your own tone on it, put whatever tone on it, make him sound like Snuffleupagus for all I care. Does his tone really matter? Does it really matter? If it was coming from a woman, would that matter? I honestly don't think so. I don't. Anyway, back to the story before I get too off track. I tell her this, she automatically goes into a shell, doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to have sex, none of that. She completely closed shop at this point. She ends up leaving after a while. I end up saying, you know what, this makes no sense. A day later, I end up sending her a text telling her, hey, you know what, I don't think this is gonna work out. Now, instead of this young lady who seemingly liked me, instead of her finding out what are some of the reasons, forget dating, just some of the reasons that another person on earth spent time with me and doesn't like me, why is that? And what can I do to work on those things? Because the problem is a lot of people, and this is men and women alike, I'm gonna just go straight people on this. You don't know how you're perceived to someone else. So if you spend your life around like-minded individuals and yes men and yes women, you will never know how you are to someone else. You'll never know. You will be great. This woman said that she was amazing to date. And to be honest, it was absolutely horrible. Self-centered narcissist. But for some reason, she could not digest that someone else was calling her out on her bullshit. Accountability, agency. It is like kryptonite to some women. You don't want to hear it because all this time you feel like you are a queen, mother goddess. I mean, the best of the best. You see me? It's ridiculous. To where if a man says anything about you constructive, mind you, when someone says, like, let's say someone says that you're overweight, right? And here are some of the things you can do that I think for you to lose weight, right? That is constructive. If I call you ugly and there ain't no fixing it, that's negative energy. I think we have to decipher between those two. And I behoove you, it behooves you to find that out sooner than later. I think modern black women watch his show and it's literally like nails on a chalkboard. You don't want anyone to tell you what you can't have. See, the reason why he's talked to men as well, and it's way worse. But the thing is, men understand, if I don't have the skills or the finances to get this type of woman or to get this type of outcome, I'm gonna go get it so I can get this Lamborghini, so I can be in these different social circles, so I can be in a different tax bracket, so I can get that supermodel that I want, right? Men understand that. It seems as women believe that all they have to do is bring themselves. I was watching an episode of Kevin Samuels the other night to where there was a woman with 3 kids, 2 different baby daddies, say that she deserves a husband. And he asked her, well, why do you feel like you deserve a husband? She said, typical, what most women say, because I feel like I have assets to give. I have value. I'm a great person. I have a great personality. All these broad, self-centered attributes that no one has ever told you. When I talk to some women and they tell me things like that, I ask them, who's told them that? Who's told you that? If you think you're cute and no one else has told you that, sis, it's cap. Just like me, I can go around saying I got $1 million. Guess what? My bank account says different. So I can't go around calling myself a millionaire because I have no proof to back that up. So when he asks her, what are these values and assets that you have? Guess what? She couldn't answer it. She honestly went back into the circle of what she deserves. The age-old saying, and it's usually been one way directed at men, is what do you have to bring to the table? Right? That's usually something a woman throws at a man, and he has to sit here and scramble and figure out what can he bring to this table as she sits at the table like this. Ain't even bought the table. But it has always been one way to what do you have to offer, sir? I'm me, but what do you have to offer? You have to jump through hoops covered with fire and gasoline in order to get to me, the woman. But I have nothing to offer of any value for a man. Your values are your values. What you think is cool and what is good is all for you. You can't date yourself, okay? If someone puts a product on the market and that person likes that product or whatever that product has to give, but the majority of people there's not a subculture of individuals who also like this, your product will not sell. And ladies, unless y'all are going out bagging dudes and you're getting down on one knee, you have to better yourself for a man to find you and to pick you. Instead, you run around with this psychobabble and manifesting this and Jesus gonna make a way, when make it out, all that stuff. Because you can't cut it. You won't change any of your ways because you think you're perfect. Ma'am, what outcomes are you getting? If I think the place I'm working at is gonna make me $100,000 and I've been there for a decade and I've gotten a 47-cent raise every year, it's me. It's me. I'm the problem. I have unattainable expectations. If I'm working at a job getting 47 cents raise a year, but I say I'm on my way to become a high value man, all you ladies out there will look at me like a fucking idiot. Correct? Yeah, you would. So what do you actually have to offer? Believe it or not, these women that go on this show, they're not paid actresses. These women volunteer to go on this show. Similar to the Jerry Springer show back in the 90s. You knew what you was going on Jerry Springer for. You knew Sally Jesse Raphael, Donahue, Montel Jordan, Oprah. I mean, you name it. You knew what you were going on there for. You've seen the show. He don't call these women like spam likely to just answer the phone, hello, and start cussing you out. The problem is that most women, I'm gonna say at least 10,000 or more of the women in that petition, I am certain that they have never watched a whole episode. There was a woman in my comments who actually commented on Kevin Samuels and never even seen a show. Just literally said Kevin Samuels is what is the problem with modern men today. I asked, did you see an episode? No. And ladies, you need to stop doing that. Stop judging people off of emotions. I know that you're emotional creatures, but when it comes to tearing a black man down, or any man, woman, child, whatever, of any color, creed, or religion, you need to do some type of research before having such a strong stance like that. Y'all have a lot of strong stances with weak research and no information. And y'all are college educated women. And what I told my uncle earlier today is education does not relieve you of ignorance. Does not. You can have a PhD and be dumb as hell. Okay? It does not. That just means you know how to read a book and take a test. That's it. If you watch the show, you see women dress up or try to make horrible decisions sound good, or even deflect the blame to someone else, or sometimes pure osmosis. It's this woman, she had her third kid by her second baby daddy, and she said, guess what? Now I hear this a lot. It just happened. If you've had 2 kids, you clearly know how the reproductive system goes. When you have the third one, sis, it's not a mistake. It's not. You did this purposefully at this point. Mind you, reckless as all hell, but you know what happens when you have sex unprotected. I watch that show. I see women 300 pounds, 3 kids, 4 baby daddies, thinking they deserve a high value man because now they want to prioritize a husband. Don't be mad at Kevin Samuels. Look at your life and realize the outcomes that you've gotten. Realize the outcomes. Just because he's telling you what you are already experiencing. If you are 300 pounds with 3 kids, you know goddamn well that you have very slim chances of marrying this high value man. If it can happen, why hasn't it? Okay? A lot of things can happen. Is that how you want to live your life? My dad's been playing the lotto before I've been alive, and he always say, when I hit the lotto, such and such and such. But he don't live his life that way. He just play the lotto. He might hit. I'm sure he ain't. In this cancel culture, if someone is saying something that you don't want to hear, you rather ban them from the internet, which is literally infringing on their First Amendment rights. Seemingly in this day and age, the First Amendment rights only come into play if that person is exercising those rights by what you agree with. That's even dipping into politics and things of that nature when you have these shadow bans going on. But I ain't gonna get too political on y'all because I don't want to lose y'all focus. Anywho, and this is a black man at that. It's always your own people, isn't it? Shaking my head. It's always your own people. Instead, so this is the crazy part about the cancel culture, right? You would rather make a whole petition of over 17,000 signers of Kevin Samuels. Instead, you would rather watch, listen, and support men and women who call and refer to women as bitches and hoes while you stick your tongue out, dye your hair silly ass candy apple colors, and twerk half naked at gas stations. This is what you'd accept over a grown man in a fucking suit talking the truth. You'd rather a man with his pants to his goddamn ankles showing you his new designer drawers with 16 chains and a felony record longer than a Bible scroll. This is who you'd rather support. Black people, are you hearing me? Pass the collection plate around. I looked, y'all. I did some searches on that change.org or changes.org. I didn't see a petition for any of those videos. Lil Nas X, I have a breakdown on his new video on my YouTube page. Make sure y'all hit the bio and subscribe, of course. His videos have millions of views of grown men popping, twerking, butt-ass naked on TV. You don't want to cancel him because he's now a part of the protected class. He's a man, but wait a second. He's now gay, so now he's protected. But the heterosexual man is never protected. Heterosexual man is the enemy. The real heterosexual man who puts on a suit and tie, who has his pants on his waist, who wears cologne, does not have a criminal record, who tries to follow the law. He's not respected, especially once he starts to open his mouth and start to speak truth. Oh no. Oh no. We don't like him. We don't like him. As black men and women of pride and value, we will never rise as a people if we praise these subcultures in our society that literally rule our airwaves and try to cancel and dim the light for positive change in the black community. Kevin Samuels, like I said, has been on since 2015, and he was talking about men for almost a whole year prior to that, and no one had anything to say. It wasn't until he started coming on for the betterment of women, black women in particular, is when we started getting this outcry to cancel him. It came to the point when I would mention Kevin Samuels that women would literally get triggered, and I can almost see their head spin from an individual you don't even know. But as soon as WAP, back that ass up, what else? I mean, you name it. Whatever's the newest, hottest song that have you with your tongue out, face down and ass up, you're good with that. You yes bitch into the middle of the dance floor at that point, right? Meg Thee Stallion is your hero, isn't it? Right? That's who you like. Cardi B, that's who you idolize, right? You'd rather listen to that than listen to a grown man tell you the truth. You don't want to cancel that. Oh no, you love that. Why? Because she's telling you everything you want to hear. Cardi B, a woman who admittedly drugged and robbed niggas. Let me say it again. An ex-stripper who's now a rapper who used to drug and rob niggas. This is who you idolize instead. Let that marinate in your soul and your spirit for a little bit. Instead, this is who you want to cancel. You heard the monologue earlier of this petition that was so gaslighted. I almost caught on fire because there's candles lit behind this computer. In closing, I implore you, if you are not familiar with Kevin Samuels, you have watched snippets or just heard bad things about him from other people who have watched the snippets and you ain't watched nothing, I implore you to go watch his 1 million subscriber fan appreciation show that aired last week Friday. That's on his YouTube. You will see an outpour in supporters who usually watch but don't call in. That's what you have to understand. He usually embraces the people who have disagreements because of course it makes for better TV than everyone calling in singing his praises. I seen a young black kid on that show, age 17. He called in saying that he's about to graduate high school and he's working 3 jobs and working on an internship, saving up money the legal way, gearing up for college. 17. Thanking Kevin Samuels on inspiring him to work harder as a young black man to be the best version of himself while trying to excel and reach that pinnacle of the high value man which Kevin Samuels talks about. If that's bad, and if y'all want to cancel someone who has young black kids in these inner cities and even suburbs or anywhere around the world to actually think more of themselves than they mama done told them, than they deadbeat daddy ain't told them because they don't have a father in their life. There's a lot of men who do not have fathers in their life who are searching and reaching out for some type of male figure. I was talking to my homeboy the other day. Do you know how many black men out here that need a hug from another black man? Not from a woman, not from their mama. They don't need no vagina. They don't need no sex. They need a hug from another black man telling them that I love you, black man. That's what they need. They can't say it because there's no safe space for that type of stuff. If you say that, you soft and you a bitch and you pussy, right? You can't say that. No, you can't say that, so you have to act out. Sometimes the only emotion that a black man knows is anger. So what do? They partner up with gangbangers, with the triple OG, right? They team up with the triple OG at a young age because they didn't have a father to hug in their lives. So they get with the triple OG because the triple OG showing them love or what they think is love. They end up gangbanging. I seen last week sometime, I'm not sure if y'all were tuned in to where there was I'm not, disclaimer, I don't know nothing about the gang culture. I ain't in it. I'm just telling you what I seen. Seemingly, one of the rival gangs of the Rolling 60s in California end up tagging one of Nipsey Hussle's murals, right? One of the gentlemen who did it was talking to another young cat who also was throwing up signs disrespecting the set. They was on live, talking, joking, just having a good old time. Before you know it, somebody sees him on live, goes to wherever he was at in the parking lot, sitting in his car, talking to the person who tagged Nipsey Hussle's mural and shot him like 15 times on live. If you don't believe me, go look it up. It might be still on YouTube, watching a young man, but I think he might not even been 21 yet, get murdered on live. If that young man had a father in his life or had someone to hug him and tell him everything was going to be all right prior to getting involved in whatever he got involved in, he might, just might, be here today. But instead, you all, the black community, or whoever signs this petition, would rather cancel a black man with a suit on. But y'all don't go on these streets or anything like, and forget going on the streets. You don't gotta be an activist. You don't gotta, put picket signs about y'all don't even turn on the camera and say anything. You don't go on and type nothing, but you go on the computer and rather ban that. If y'all want to cancel this man, go ahead and cancel me too, because this will truly prove to me that there's no hope and change in the black community. Ladies, it starts with you, because you are the bearers and the teachers of our children. Hope y'all enjoyed the show, the Chris Hall Show, of course. I need everybody to follow me on IG at ChrisHallATL. Click the link in the bio. Subscribe to my YouTube page. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be notified when all this content comes out. And once again, if you want to cancel Kevin Samuels, cancel yourself first. I'm out.